From Kenmore to Clarence, covering all of Western New York, this is News 4, your local news leader.
A recent announcement offered hope that Buffalo Pro Soccer would soon take the field for its games.
Issues with that location led to it being dropped, putting the wheels in motion to find a different spot. Right now, we are joined by Peter Marlett, president of Buffalo Pro Soccer. Peter, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, so tell us a little bit about where things stand right now and ultimately what led to that decision.
Yeah, so we announced last week that we've decided to move on from our previously announced stadium site at Elk Street. And, you know, a lot went into that decision. The main one, and, you know, the unfortunate reason is one particularly difficult neighbor who was very motivated to not have us there. And at the end of the day, we had to make a business decision, and it made the most sense to move on from that site, find somewhere where we'd be more welcomed by everybody, and, you know, really be able to move forward in the most sustainable and successful way for this club and for the city.
So PVC Chemical, which was the neighbor that you were talking about, they from the very beginning, literally on the same day, and you know this because we had the press conference of you announcing it, then we had to go back to you later that day and say, oh, we need some more comment because the company came out. Listen, they have been there for decades, they say. They produce hazardous materials and have hazardous materials coming into their plant. It's right behind where the stadium was going to be. Yeah. How was this ever really going to work with those two partners, including you and the PVC?
Right. Well, the site that we were building, yes, PVS, the site that we were building on was rezoned for recreational use back in 2018 and has been used as an athletic facility for years now. There were some air quality issues back in 21 or so, but those were remedied. And so from a safety perspective and an air quality perspective, it really wasn't a concern. It had been remediated, it had been corrected, and it had been rezoned for recreational use. I think what we didn't necessarily account for was how motivated PVS would be to not see additional development on that site. And honestly, it's a shame because the Valley and the Seneca Babcock communities, you know, are, we hate to be moving what was going to be a $10 million private investment in that site, and that's a shame because those communities are great and they deserve it, and I hope they will continue to develop. That said, we had to make a decision on what was best for our club and the city of Buffalo, and we needed to put this stadium in a location where it can be used the 85 plus times a year as we expect it to be for concerts, for lacrosse, for rugby, men's and women's pro soccer, everything.
So now the selection process resumes, right? So there were talks of maybe the downtown area near Key Bank. Are your eyes still there as far as a new site goes?
Absolutely, yeah, very much so. So we had 3 finalist sites, Elk Street being one of them, before we made the decision. And the other announced site is in the Cobblestone District, that Buffalo News HSBC Atrium lot. That is still very much on the table and is obviously an exciting one for all the reasons it was exciting 6-7 months ago when we were last assessing it. That said, there are multiple very good locations within the city of Buffalo, within downtown Buffalo, but the one that we're referencing, we are in conversations.
So this move gives you guys another year to play with, right? Because you're pushing back the start of Buffalo's inclusion until 2027, right?
Correct. Yeah. So at Elk Street, we were set to be playing in 2026, and that was a big advantage of that site. It had already been remediated. Much of the groundwork was already there, and it was going to allow us to be up and running quicker than anywhere else. 2026 was the goal, but it wasn't a mandate. We have the rights to this club for years, and we want to make sure we get it right.
And that still gives you time as far as coaching and roster selection, right?
Yeah, it gives us an additional 12 months. And listen, I had been down that road already. You're talking to coaches, talking to players, and, you know, we have to put those conversations on hold for a little longer. But no, listen, no one's going to complain about an additional year to build a roster.
Now that you guys have sort of the process in mind, if you will, or top of mind on selecting a site, when you guys make that decision, be it Elk Street or somewhere else downtown or another site altogether, what's the expectation for timing? Do we think maybe later this summer, this fall?
For an announcement, I think it can come pretty quickly. I don't want to put a definitive timeline on it, but, you know, those conversations that we had for a year, the research that we did in picking the original site, that information hasn't gone away. It's still there, and we're ready to, well, not ready to, we already have picked up on those conversations.
Right.
Certainly a story we will continue following. Peter Marlette, Buffalo Pro Soccer, thank you so much for taking the time this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Yep.